Hello everyone, and welcome to Culture of Gaming's Power Up Podcast, episode 59. This is being recorded live on twitch.tv/Culture of Gaming on February 16th, 2019. I'm your host, Taylor, and this week I'm of course joined by Anthony.
Summer's almost over, the heat is finally gone, and we are kind of going into winter a little bit. We had our first chilly morning this morning, so looking forward to it. How are you going?
He's living in the upside down.
Yeah,
he's living in the upside down.
I can turn my camera upside down if you want, but you know.
Really emphasize the effect. Well, I will say that here on my part of the United States, it is getting a little bit warmer every morning, so it's feeling nice. We're getting into spring. All right. And then I'm, of course, joined by Joel. You are our fourth seat this week. How are you?
Hello. I like to disagree with Anthony, and that it's been hot over the past couple of days, and I can't stand it. When is winter coming?
Cooler than what it has been, actually. It was actually not too bad yesterday, so.
I don't know.
To that 35-degree day we had, I think. So.
I just hid in the corner of my room with the aircon on, pretty much. But yeah.
And then Andrew has to go to work this week, and so Ethan, you're filling in for him. How are you? Welcome back, sir.
Not too bad. I was handling water for my job this morning in 25-degree weather, so 25 degrees Fahrenheit. So
man, the Midwest sucks. Okay.
Yes, yeah, it's real great.
Just
great
clarification: is Ethan Andrew 2.0 or am I Andrew 2.0?
Joel, you are the fourth seat. Ethan is Andrew 2.0.
All right.
That's me. Very cool. I'm honored. I am honored.
When's the next Contra video, Andrew?
I don't know.
I think he's over that
after I teach my next gymnastics class, okay?
Alright. If he listens to this, oh man.
Which is today and tomorrow, so.
Yeah. Alright, so let's bounce around. Anthony, what have you been playing this past week?
Apex Legends, of course. Been trying to get some wins and kills and all that kind of stuff. Haven't really improved, which is par for the course for me.
Okay.
And aside from that, been playing some Tron 2.0. Finally got into that.
You streamed that a little bit, didn't you?
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm not liking it that much. So it's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's a bit of a weird.
So what you're saying is David overhyped it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll say that in the nicest manner possible.
Let's just name drop right there.
Yeah.
David is our retro reviewer, retro podcaster for the site for this.
True.
Familiar.
Yeah.
Yes.
True. And aside from that, picked up what's it called? Not Shovel Knight, Hollow Knight. That's the one.
Oh,
Picked that up. Played like 10 minutes of it and haven't played it since. So.
Oh, I'll get back to that, man. That's one of my favorite Metroidvanias. It's a real good one. It's a real good one.
It's a little bit like Ori in the Blind Forest. I'm finding it, which is good.
Yeah.
I actually quite like that. Yeah, it is a bit. Just like the whole atmosphere and whatnot of it.
A little darker.
Music and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And aside from that, that's about it from me. Haven't been really gaming that much this week, apart from Apex Legends mainly. So.
All right. Ethan, what have you been up to?
Just like last week, I've been I haven't had much time for gaming, but I've been chipping away a little bit the Mass Effect 1. Aside from that,
where are you?
Gosh, I think I'm just kind of wandering around the various galaxies right now. What? There's no
Galaxies.
spoilers.
The game is like,
15
what,
years old.
11 years old now?
Yeah. I'm just at that portion in the game where you can kind of just wander around and do whatever the heck you want, so I'm not really sure.
What was the last mission you did in it?
I went to another copy and paste base with the exact same layouts, and I killed a bunch of guys, and one of them was in a blue force field, and he was laying down. Yeah.
Have you done Best Girl yet? Have you done Best Girl yet?
Talia? No,
Liara.
Tali.
No, Liara.
Liara. I don't know, man.
The blue alien chick. You know, the Best Girl?
No, I've been spending too much time just trying to get this dang thing modded before I could actually play the game. So
look, if you just put your head down and grind, then you've passed the most boring of the two, in my opinion. I think you can get to Mass Effect 2, which is a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Just grind through Mass Effect 1, and then Mass Effect 2 is a much more enjoyable experience from the get-go.
Yeah.
Even though I love Mass Effect 1.
So much better on PC as well.
Yeah.
if you will give me 3 weeks off from writing any sort of articles, I will.
Nah.
Aside from that, though,
seeing you two go through Mass Effect makes me want to get started with my annual trilogy playthrough even sooner. So.
Well, I've already finished 1, and
Yeah,
I'm
I
like
saw
a quarter of the way
that.
through 2. So.
how many hours did it take you to beat?
Let me have a look.
Okay.
Shall I?
Well, aside from Mass Effect 1, though, I'm planning on getting back into Link's Awakening on my 3DS in a bit, which we're going to talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, you guys should stream it. Like your playthrough for Mass Effects. I would totally love to. I would totally love to watch it and then just laugh at all your mistakes.
8 hours it took me.
That's it? I feel like there's so much more than 8 hours of Mass Effect 2 content you can do.
No, that was Mass Effect 1.
Oh, yeah, you can trudge through Mass Effect 1 in like 8 hours and be just fine going into 2.
I kind of speed ran it a tiny bit because I knew what was going to happen and kind of skipped the dialogue a bit and whatnot. So.
Okay, fair enough. And then Joel,
Good at doing that with. Sorry,
Joel, what have you been doing?
I've been playing Smite because Season 6 is out and I am so hyped for it.
That game
I'm
still
so
exists.
happy.
That game still
Yeah,
exists.
it's still going.
Sorry, what?
That game still exists.
Oh, yeah.
I think
yeah, it still
Never say
exists
yeah.
apparently.
Yeah, of course it
They never-
exists.
Okay.
Why does everyone give Smite so much crap? It's honestly a good game. Just if you go past the toxicity, it is a good game. No,
Think about me.
Sorry.
It's really hard for me to get into MOBAs in the first place. I tried playing Dota 2 for maybe 4 or 5 hours or so. I just it's such a high barrier to entry.
I think you need
that
more
I
than
feel
4 to
like,
5 hours to get into Dota 2, though.
Well, if
it
makes
is what
you
it is. I don't know.
if it makes me feel better, I'm really well. I'm sort of upset because even though I've been winning my my ranked games, I've been doing terribly, and I am so lucky to have good teammates to carry me. So, but I've been doing really terribly on Smite lately. So yeah, there's that. But what else have I been? Oh yes, on the iOS and Android devices, another Eden. It is a JRPG. I've been spamming the Culture Gaming's
Yeah.
Discord
Okay.
server.
You've been
Saying,
chilling
people
hard.
play it. It's a really good game. And honestly, it's a really good game. I haven't been charmed with a good good simple game story or plot in a very long time. So having this continuously intrigue me and get piquing my curiosity, continuing to get me to keep playing the game over and over again. I'm actually really impressed with it. So yeah, I highly recommend it. 3 of you should play it.
Cool.
For reference, what is your favorite JRPG? Just out of curiosity.
I mean,
Mm.
the Disgaea series is technically JRPG, right?
Yes.
And then there's obviously Final Fantasy.
Okay.
Dragon Quest is also a pretty good series.
Okay. So you have taste. So I'll take your word on that. I'll have to check out another Eden.
You're so judgmental,
Oh,
Ethan. Good lord.
Yeah.
If you play Chrono Trigger, if you play
I
Chrono
love Chrono
Trigger,
Trigger.
it is made by the same creator.
It's like a quintessential
Oh.
JRPG, ain't it?
Same creator.
Well, I need
I
to
think-
play it then.
Yeah.
I
that's-
think, but yeah, it's also another time traveling story, which is also very nice.
Okay.
I'm very
Cool.
intrigued now. I'm gonna check it out.
Okay. So this past week for me, I have been playing a ton of stuff. Also working on a very comprehensive mouse and keyboard guide for PC gaming for the site and everything, which is just an
Completely
absolute
forgot about that, to be honest.
was just like an absolute time sink or whatever. But I just got through the keyboard part, and the mouse part will be a little bit easier to write. So there's
Cool.
that. And then let's see, earlier in the week, I was streaming some Final Fantasy 14. I streamed like the first 4 levels or so of it, and it's okay so far. I'm not absolutely thrilled with it, but maybe I'll try and get through it some more. Maybe I'll stream some more
It does look very boring, honestly.
of my adventures. Yeah. Yeah.
It looks nice, but it looks boring as well.
It sort of like simplistic compared to
Like
dare I say,
WoW or something like that.
WildStar.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then let's see, running through the week. What has come out this week that I've been playing? Oh yeah, so earlier this week, the Civilization 6 Gathering Storm expansion came out. So I've been playing that. I've of course been playing a ton of Apex Legends still. Anthem unlocked yesterday, so I've been playing that a bit, but more on that later.
Very curious.
Yeah, what else? What else has come out this week that I might have...
Yes, you've been playing City Skylines.
Yes,
You're on that a lot.
Got a little bit of DLC of that also, so just working on my city some more. And yeah, that's how it's been going. And then doing some research and experimentation for a new video to make for a tech channel. So, all right, all the things we need to get through here. Our Facebook community group for both the main site and Power Up Podcast are facebook.com/cod.net and facebook.com/powerpod, respectively. We have a community Discord, a link to which you can find on the sidebar of the main site, twitter.com/@cod.net, instagram.com/@cultureofgaming, youtube.com/cultureofgaming, twitch.tv/cultureofgaming, myspace.com/powerpod. You guys, the audience, can ask us questions anywhere. We are live, but we do prefer the live Twitch chat or our community Discord. All right, so gaming news. Our leading topic for this afternoon is Activision Blizzard actually did their layoffs earlier this week. I believe it happened on Monday or Tuesday, and it was announced during an investors call that you can go listen to if you really like. It's really dry, I'm not gonna lie, and everything. You probably want to it will probably make you want to shoot something because of how frustrating the guy talks to the investors to try and appeal. But all right, so
keep in mind that we're in Australia, no America. Just want to point that out.
What?
Sorry.
How does that? Okay. I'm confused.
Okay. Do you want?
What?
Okay.
Taylor says shoot stuff up.
No, I said shoot something.
Yeah, shoot something.
We've got guns
thing,
here
not a
as
person.
well.
I said a thing, not a person.
Strict gun laws.
I said a thing, not a person.
Hey, culture of politics, everybody. Let's go.
Okay, I'm sorry. Keep going, Taylor.
Okay, anyway, and so we talked about this on the show last week on episode 58, but this was rumored, and most of the rumors were coming from some of Jason Schreier's insiders over at Activision Blizzard. So, but yeah, it officially happened, and everyone was kind of thinking, this would be a couple hundred, maybe in the 200 or 300 range, but 800 people got laid off from Activision Blizzard and everything. And so, and at the same time, Activision Blizzard is reporting record earning profits. So, yeah, in light of so many people possibly wrongfully losing their jobs and everything, several, what little gaming unions exist and everything, are calling for the resignation of the CEO, whose name escapes me right now. But, yeah. All right, and then really quick, just a quick primer to break down the hierarchy of Activision Blizzard and everything. So, at the top, or at the base level, at the top level, let's just do like a tier hierarchy
like a world
system.
Tree.
Yeah, so let's do like a tier hierarchy system. So at tier 1, the owner of everything is Vivendi Games, okay? Tier 2, directly branching off of Vivendi Games, is Activision Blizzard. Okay. Then branching off from Activision Blizzard at Tier 3, both equally, is Activision, the publishing company, who has multiple developers under it. And then on the other side of Activision Blizzard is Blizzard Entertainment, who are their own development studios and everything, and their own self-publishers also. Does that make sense? Joel, I know you were kind of curious. Does that make sense?
Yeah, somewhat.
Okay. And so anyway, this is an Activision Blizzard earnings call, because that's the holding company for Blizzard Entertainment and Activision. Okay. And yeah, basically that company has control of like the hiring, firing, pay, whatnot, stuff like that. They do all the corporate level stuff for both those companies. All right. So now that a little explanation's out of the way, yeah, it sucks. And the thing is that my first opinion of this is, unfortunately, no matter the community backlash or anything, nothing's going to change, because the investors are happy because it made money. It made record profits. Yeah. Their investment is paying off. So that's kind of the harsh reality of it. But Ethan, what do you think?
Me? Oh gosh, it's a bad situation for sure. I'd say I feel like most of what I'm going to say is probably misinformed, but I hope that the people who were laid off find quick reemployment elsewhere. I'd imagine it's not going to be incredibly difficult if you work at a place like Activision or Blizzard. You're probably talented enough to the point where you're going to be able to be swooped up. I know that happened with Telltale, where I think Ubisoft picked up a number of Telltale employees whenever that studio shut down. So Yeah, the games industry, generally speaking, developers tend to hop from one company to the next. So I'm hoping, I have confidence that probably most of them will land on their feet.
Okay, and just
But
to provide a
who
little
really
bit,
knows?
just provide a little bit more specifics. Most of the people laid off were in like the customer service and support sort of roles, as opposed to actual developmental positions, which can be kind of taken.
Well, that's different.
That can kind of be taken both ways, in my opinion, in the sense of, so maybe none of their projects are necessarily jeopardized by losing key development staff or something. But at the same time, also, you know, these are the people you're more... So it kind of hurts more, because these are the people you're more likely to interact with on a regular basis, like while playing the game. So...
Yeah.
All right, Joel.
Sure.
Yeah, Joel, let's get your take on this. What do you think?
Well, first things first, it is very depressing to me. 800 people. And so, as much as I want to say that it's morally wrong, it's... Technically speaking, they can't be faulted, as you said before. And even though, how should I say? Sorry, I'm really bad with words today. Even though what Blizzard does is not technically illegal or wrong per se, it's still something that is kind of morally upsetting.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's just like, you know, it's not like they're hurting for cash, obviously. You know, they're still turning a profit.
Yeah,
and especially but you have to lay off 800 people, seemingly unnecessarily.
Yeah, but in a sense, it is also, you know, the idea of a company is to earn money of pretty much all else. And so, yeah, you just can't really help how, like, harsh the industry is.
Right. Anthony, what are your initial thoughts on this?
So one question I do have, was this split equally between, so Activision Blizzard is the parent company of Activision and Blizzard.
Yes.
Did the people actually go from Blizzard and Activision, or from
Yes, it would have been
Blizzard?
It would have been company? So the thing is like, so say you're like a programmer for Blizzard Entertainment, your employer isn't Blizzard Entertainment, your employer is Activision Blizzard.
Yeah, okay.
So this would have been impacting both companies. Yes.
I mean, I kind of agree with what Ethan and Joel are saying. This is something that they don't need to do. I mean, 800 people. How many people do they have working for them? How can they afford to just cut that big of a chunk of people?
Around 10,000 or so, I think.
I mean, unless all of their systems, unless those 800 people's systems are being automated or something, I'm not really too sure like what they were doing or how they were supporting the company or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, in the end, it's a business, and everything's a business, and they've got to make money. But I don't like 800 people. That's a lot of people.
Right.
How can they afford to do that?
And they still would have they still would have turned at least a profit had they not laid off these people. Also, that's the thing. So. And then, all right.
Unless they've like contracted that kind of service out or something, I'm not too sure. So.
Right. And then. The second part of this is, and you know, we've talked about unions on the show, particularly whenever news of like crunch time and everything during game development hits the headlines a little bit. You know, it renews the call for like a mass like game development unionization is being renewed because of this. So, do you guys think this will any sort of gaming union would help this sort of thing, or no? What do you guys think?
I mean, did they get all of their severance pay and all that kind of stuff?
I'd imagine so.
And a union can't really do anything for them. If they're being fired above board, or just let go above board, a union can't really support them. A union, over here at least, is only in place for people who are, like, fired illegally, or not being paid the correct amounts, or something like that. It's only if, you know, the company's broken the law in some way or whatnot.
Okay.
So if they've gotten rid of these people above board, a union's not really going to help in this scenario. However, I do definitely believe a union is needed to to sort out issues like what happened to Telltale, what happened with that other company that had all those, whatever, I can't remember what their name was, that had all those sexual issues. Remember that we talked about?
Right.
That was right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying right then. I thought you were agreeing with me. So I do definitely believe that a union is needed. I think a union's needed in every industry, but in this scenario, it's not really going to help.
That's fair enough. I will say that in the U.S. and everything, unions kind of not only advocate for like lawful employment, or it's like do lawful employment, but there are a lot more like workers' rights and worker safety, so to speak, and everything. And it's like fair wages for the danger of work being done, sort of thing and whatnot. So
I think it's very similar here as well.
Yeah, but either way, it's like, although as strange as it is, a union wouldn't have helped this because they were legally fired. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
If they weren't, there would be much more of a storm around this. It's just the optics, how this looks from the outside, looks really bad.
Well, there'd be like lawsuits and everything being opened already, class action lawsuits and all that kind of stuff. So,
you would have already heard about a mass one for wrongful termination of
100%,
employment.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Ethan, any more thoughts?
No, I'm afraid not. Again, I'm kind of misinformed on this entire issue. So.
Okay. Joel, any last thoughts?
I got nothing. I just hope the people that got fired, get help and
get more employment and whatnot.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Because it must be like, well, I can't say for certain, but most likely it's maybe tough, like just being fired all of a sudden for something that you might not have any influence or control over. It's just a bad feeling.
Yeah, it's not a good feeling. Like, I've had that happen to me in one scenario where I was like being bullied and whatnot, and if that kind of scenario is happening, it's not nice, particularly if multiple people get laid off at once.
Yeah.
But hopefully they find employment elsewhere and they'll be all good. He's dealing with his doggo, I think.
Oh, yeah, we got his dogs.
Yeah.
Should we move on to the next topic? I think, Anthony, you have the first topic after the leader one.
Alright, let's go.
I do. Apparently I'm being thrown under the bus as usual. Okay. So for this one, Project xCloud is apparently what Microsoft is calling their new streaming service. Google, Amazon, and Microsoft are all doing a streaming service very similar to what Microsoft is doing.
The same one, or are they different ones?
They're different streaming services. Google was the first one to do theirs, which is Project Stream, I believe it's called, which basically allows for people who don't know, any game that, like, for instance, Assassin's Creed Odyssey was one of the games that they were testing this out on. Google was. They were basically doing the heavy work to run the game on an internal server of theirs, kind of thing. And then basically you as a user would connect to their database and you would be able to play the game on any device, mobile, PC, tablet, whatever could connect to the internet. And Microsoft and Amazon are doing a very similar thing. Amazon announced theirs a couple of months ago. I believe they're looking at launching theirs late next year, and Google's looking at launching theirs this year. Microsoft, however, is currently looking at starting networking and tests and all that kind of stuff on the 18th of March, 18th to the 22nd of March. They're looking at doing their testing. Project xCloud is Microsoft's upcoming game streaming service, where we haven't heard many details about how it'll work and factors such as latency. We do know that public trials should begin in 2019. However, a description posted on the Game Developers Conference GDC website, which is actually, that's the one that's happening in the 18th to the 22nd. They're doing the testing over that period.
Okay.
Gives us an insight on what they're going to be doing. So the official statement is Project xCloud is enabling console native games to stream through our Azure hosted game servers and streaming clients. Any console native game currently shipped in the Microsoft Store on Xbox will be capable of streaming to a mobile device. Project xCloud is an open platform with a customizable client user experience where streaming starts with Xbox game developers not having to modify a single line of existing game code. This talk will go deeper into how cloud-aware games being built with the Project xCloud software development kit will help games adapt for mobile through the same graphics and input paradigms on console native development. You'll also learn about the new microservices layer that allow customization such as glass and touch input when a game controller is not available at all outside the game. So they haven't released any details or anything like that. All we know is they're doing tests over the March period. and looks like they're going full steam ahead. So, what do you guys think about this and the whole streaming thing? Do you think it's like a future of gaming, or?
Well, it's definitely an interesting concept, but whether it would be reliable, that still has to be seen. Because from what I'm hearing from you, it seems like a really huge step. Like right now, we have pretty much cross platforms as a certain thing, but then expanding it even further to like mobile devices and stuff like that. That pretty much. To me personally, I feel like that's near impossible. But obviously it's not, since they're planning to do it within the next couple of years and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So if they can get it right and it works reliably without much problems and stuff like that, yes, I think it's going to be a huge step towards the gaming industry. Otherwise, it might just be
like a service out there that you
a gimmick.
Yeah.
It's interesting because this is like the second piece of Microsoft related streaming news to come out in like the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you guys remember, but Xbox Live recently, Microsoft announced that that's going to be coming into devices like mobile and Switch, oddly enough.
and
no
iOS
place.
as well.
Yes, yeah. No PlayStation
Zune.
because Sony still being.
Because
Rip the Zune.
Yeah, stupid Sony. No, I like Sony, but yeah, it's interesting. I think
I like the games by Sony, but not actually Sony.
the new. I'm sorry, this is such a side note, but the new Xperia line of phones that they're releasing is gonna have the strangest friggin' aspect ratio. It's like 19.5:9 or something. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. Keep going.
that would be 39:18. So I prefer to use that aspect ratio. That's weird. Anyway,
I'm sorry. Just keep going.
I find Microsoft's approach to streaming to be very interesting. Did you guys talk about Xbox Live last week on Power Up?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it was mentioned, but we didn't talk about it.
Okay, I got you. Well, they seem to certainly be more open about porting their games over to other platforms, which, you know, you'd think, hey, that's not a good thing since they should keep this stuff exclusive. Nintendo does it. I mean, Microsoft has done it for as long as they've been in existence, but yeah, I don't know. Microsoft is certainly becoming a much more open company, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Now the only thing left is the microtransactions, and then Microsoft would probably be a good company.
Yeah. I don't want to say the only thing, or it's like the only thing I have to say about this is this, but what I will say is that, and there's not much more to be said, is I have yet to personally, and I've tried them all at this point, you know, between like CES and any other shows I've been to, or just like in personal experience, I have yet to experience something that I would deem as a good experience from any of these like game streaming services like this.
One thing I will add is, Joel, to kind of address your statement that you said earlier, Google has actually done their testing. They've invited people into it, and a lot of people have actually tested out their whole, I think it was Odyssey that they tested on mobile and everything, and it worked quite well. The only issue that they had was it was capped to 30 FPS. They couldn't get it anything above that. So that's the main issue they have, which is the frame rates, because they can't. Like, they're working on it, but they can't at the moment figure out a way to get above, I think it's 60 FPS at the moment.
Yeah, technology is a bit limited. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm betting you that eventually, kind of a side note, I guess, but I'm betting that eventually, once Google gets its thing out, it's probably going to benefit greatly from Google Fiber if you happen to live in a city where that exists.
that would be great if they kept their rollout on schedule.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and it was
true.
like, you know,
That's a good
this
point.
concept seems really great for every country except the U.S. and Australia, because both of our countries' telecom infrastructure is ass backwards. Like,
well, yours is like 5,000% better than ours, so enjoy that streaming service from Microsoft. But
this
this
is just some parts of the U.S. that are just brutal. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
Yeah, well, it's kind of the same here with country and all that. Yeah. This is kind of very similar with the whole Madbox thing as well, the whole PC/console thing. Do we think, this is an interesting question, do we think exclusives are going to be gone in like 3 or 4 years if, you know, we're having hyper-ish PC/consoles coming in that are going to kind of bridge the gap between Steam and console gaming and all that kind of stuff, and the whole streaming services. Do we think we might see an end of exclusives?
Gosh, I hope not. Exclusives drive the market forward. They help people to provide incentive to for one person to buy PlayStation over Nintendo or vice versa. But I
And
don't
for companies to innovate as well.
Yeah, there have been so many stories like throughout every like console generation. They're like, oh, this could be like the merge of consoles and PC, or it's like, you know, this could create some sort of homogeneity between all the consoles, and it never happens. So I'm still pretty.
Is there really like a true downside, like as players, to have consoles merge, like work together?
Yes, because you end up with companies like EA.
Yeah, let Ethan finish his thought, because I think I was going to go into that.
Sorry.
What was my thought? I don't know what my thought was, but kind of relating to, I can go on with Joel's thought. I think when companies merge, they're given less incentive to compete with other companies, and you get things like monopolies. Obviously, I don't think in the games industry we're ever going to get anything close to a monopoly. There are just way too many game development studios out there for that even to be feasible in the next 200 years. But you know, I think the more the companies merge together and the more control that massive corporations have over games, the more that they turn into the Activision Blizzards of the world, or the Rockstars that are so it can end up with this like that.
Yeah.
And I mean, even less. It all comes down to incentive, because if you don't have the incentive to buy someone's console over another, if you don't have the incentive to go out and buy games, then companies then you wait a minute, I'm thinking of this backwards. If companies don't have the incentive to reach out to players and reach out to their consumers so that they will be forced to come in and, you know, buy from them, then they're not going to have the incentive to innovate and create new games. And therefore it's, you know, it's a loop, it's a cycle. So yeah, I'd say that's the answer.
Yeah, a pretty way of saying it is
a
pretty way of saying it is basically, and just to clarify Ethan's point, so the audience gets it and everything, is like basically a lack of competition, and this can be applied to any market, but a lack of competition stifles innovation.
That was put very, very well.
It's the same with kind of countries as well. Not that war's any good, but always after every single war, there's a massive technology leap.
Yeah.
From like internet and all that kind of stuff. So technically, war in an industry is a good thing because it allows for all these technology leaps and all that kind of stuff. So
there are some hot political takes coming out of episode 59 of the Power Up podcast. All right.
Culture of politics.
Just wait for episode 69.
Yeah.
I'm making the executive decision that we're just going to skip that episode. We're going to go from 68 to 70, just so I don't have to tolerate any sort of jokes about it during the show.
That ought to be interesting.
Yeah. All right. Hello, Joel. You there?
Oh, hello.
Hello?
My internet dropped a bit. Am I back?
Yes, you are back. Hello,
go.
sir. So, what have you got for us
really
today?
Oh, right. I got two things. The first one is the whole, Apex Legends being recently released and stuff like that. Recently they, what was the company called? Respawn, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Respawn released statistics stating that within the first 10 days of the release of Apex Legends, 16,000 players have already been banned. Like, what's up with that?
Okay, I guess I'm just like the cynical a-hole today, but 16,000 people is not much in a pool of 25 million.
Yeah,
I suppose, but why the incentive to cheat? I actually don't understand.
Yeah. So that, do we have any, like, have they said why they've, like, what the reasonings are for banning all of these people, like, whether it's like aimbots or stuff like that?
Actually, no. There's barely any data on it. Like, they don't even state whether it's mostly on consoles or is Apex Legend cross-platform?
Yeah.
No,
so
not yet.
Not yet.
Oh yeah. Yeah. So we have no idea which consoles or like whether it's PC or not, where these statistics were taken from.
Yes,
And
really quick.
so yeah, there's barely anything. There's just a statement of 16,000 cheaters, that sort of thing. I personally still think that even with that many players, that's still a ridiculously big number within a time frame of 10 days.
It is okay. It is 0.064% of the player base getting caught for cheating.
Okay, but was the player base that big when the game first came out, more or less?
I mean, it reached like 1 million in 2 days or so.
Okay, well,
It
yeah,
wasn't
I did know that.
And
but-
after, I think it was after a week, it had 2 million concurrent players.
No,
Yeah,
No,
I suppose
it was-
you look at it from a ratio sort of side, but if you just look at it at as a number from a
It's a
game,
lot of people.
16,000 is still a lot of people.
oh, yeah, that's a more reasonable way of looking at it. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to further go into this conversation, have you played Apex Legends at all, Joel?
No,
Okay.
I've been meaning to, but I got no idea which games on the computer to delete for
Okay.
space.
Fair enough. But
So
you should
until
uninstall
I
Smite.
find
Uninstall Smite. It'll be fine.
no,
There you go.
don't you dare suggest that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll probably delete Divinity Original Sin.
Yeah.
I'm not playing
Okay.
that right now, so yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I guess to give more credit to the number is that there's no way to report someone natively in game right now. You have to take video footage or note down the person's account name and send an email into Respawn in order to report
Yeah.
someone as a
Frankly-
player. So these bans are either enough people doing that and Respawn investigating and saying, oh yeah, this guy needs to be banned, and or a mix of their anti-cheats trying to pick up on stuff.
Frankly, I feel like
Yeah.
that method is probably a lot better on Respawn, because if they had that option in game to report a cheater, then I mean they'd just constantly be getting thousands and thousands and thousands of requests, and I don't know if that would be possible to kind of parse through all that. So
it's how
by
every other
making
game does it.
people, yeah, I suppose. I guess it's just something they don't want to deal with. Like they
Yeah.
kind of, if someone's calling them out for someone else for being a cheater, they want it to be legitimate, and they don't want to be, just something dumb, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say also that it's very hard to tell whether or not someone could possibly be cheating in that game.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard, very
Yeah.
difficult.
There's only been, I've played almost 100 hours of the game as of today, actually. But
How?
Are you
That's-
cheating?
that-
Are you cheating, Taylor? Are
No.
you cheating? Are you a
No.
bot?
no.
I do not agree.
What?
You cheated the count. You cheated the play
Well,
count
it's-
timer. That's what you did.
That's
That's
what-
saying I've played 70 hours as
Okay,
well.
yeah,
and
that's
I
what
really
Origin
don't
tells me.
agree.
I don't think Origin's very accurate with it.
No.
But okay. Anyway, I guess the point still stands is I've played a lot of this game, and it's basically there's only been
It's-
1 or 2 guys I've suspected possibly could have been cheating, but then the rest are what I attuned to network latency and delay and everything. Which, by the way, this one guy on YouTube. Let me try and pull up the username right quick here. He basically did a very analytical video regarding the netcode and hit detection and everything of Apex Legends, and basically I just found the video. Basically it's by Battle Nonsense on YouTube. Video just came out today. You should go take a look at it. I'm gonna drop a link in the chat. Basically,
Okay.
at the end, he shows a graph, and what the graph is basically a client delay graph comparing Apex Legends to all the other battle royales that are on the market right now. Apex Legends has the highest client delay graph, and what that means is that basically someone can be shooting you on their side, but in the worst, in one of the highest case scenarios, it'll be 179 milliseconds before that information is given to you, as opposed to Counter-Strike, which is in the 50s in terms of
Who
milliseconds.
analyzes this stuff?
People with a lot of time on
Obviously,
their hands.
He does.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
What makes this even more amazing is that this is all had to be experimental based and everything, because there's no public network information that can be accessed in game in Apex Legends.
Oh, wow.
So
Okay.
there was a ton of work that went into this.
Oh,
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, and so overall, the netcode is in a really bad spot in Apex Legends by comparison to the other games. And so that to me kind of makes it hard to determine whether or not someone is actually cheating or not. Because now I don't know what to believe.
And that's the same, like, there's so many, not that this even really relates, but there's so many features. It's been out for like just over a week, so you got to give it some time to kind of get its footing and all that. There's so many features they got to get, like, add into it, such as like being able to rejoin squads if you crash.
Yeah,
I eat matter myself a lot, and a lot, like 5,000 other AMD GPU users as well. They're having major AMD issues with this game. It's so bad. As far as anyone who's got an AMD GPU just can't even go near the dropship or anything at all, and you just randomly crash. So yeah,
I saw you crash so many times last night just on Origin. It's like
poor Andrew. He was like, "You just keep crashing. Stop crashing."
Imagine.
Yeah. Pretty funny.
All right, so yeah, cheating is bad though. Anything left to say about?
Yes.
Yep.
Anything left to say?
I wonder how do 16,000 people get the information and the dark corners of the internet to know how to cheat? Like that's
I mean,
what's always-
okay, to be entirely fair, Apex Legends is on Source Engine, and there have been cheats for Source Engine since 1998. So
wait. Okay. All right. That's cool. Okay. Well, that makes sense.
yeah.
And anything else? Because I have a second topic. This may be a quick one.
Nope, go for it.
All right, cool. Second topic. Ethan and I are really pumped for this. Link's Awakening coming to the Nintendo Switch, I believe.
Yes,
This
sir.
remake.
That's correct. Yes,
And
sir.
in my opinion, I don't know about Ethan's, it is arguably the best Game Boy Legend of Zelda game that came out during its time. Wait, was it Game Boy?
I think it was the only Legend of Zelda Game Boy
It was
game.
original Game Boy.
No,
No, Oracle of Ages
wait,
and Seasons was
No,
on.
that was another one.
I was too young.
what game were the Oracle of Ages and Seasons?
Game
Game Boy.
Color. I
Game
think.
Boy?
I'm-
Game of Color?
I'm pretty sure that was Game Boy Advance, actually.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well, I know Link to the
I
Past
haven't
was on
played-
Advanced
This
at
is
least.
I'm pretty sure Link's Awakening was the original game. Game Boy hand.
You're at least correct on that.
You-
You're at least correct on that, Joel.
Yeah.
But I think Link to the Past was on Advanced though.
You mean Link's Awakening?
No,
No,
I mean,
sorry.
I
In
know-
Link-
to the
Oracle?
Past. I'm pretty sure Link to the Past was also Game
Link to
Boy
the Past
Advance.
is on Link to the Past is on Super
Zelda,
Nintendo. I know that for
Oracle
sure.
of Ages.
Oh,
Link to the Past.
They made a remake of Link to the Past on
It was
Game Boy
on the
Advance.
Game Boy
I'm
Color. I
pretty
was
sure.
right.
And Link's Awakening is Game Boy Color as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Link's Awakening originally came out on Game Boy Regular, but then they made Link's Awakening DX for Game Boy Color.
No, yes.
Oh.
Correct.
All right.
Wow.
That's right. What was even the
Alright,
question
good
here?
job.
I'm very confused.
I think it was just like, are you too excited for it?
Okay,
Okay, I guess
yeah.
for those of you who don't know, Nintendo had a
I-
direct
I-
on Thursday, and
Yeah,
it was
we're not
Thursday,
going
right?
too
Was-
deep into. Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Oh,
yeah, it was
okay.
Wednesday.
Nintendo had
We're
a
not going
direct
too
on
deep
Wednesday.
into it. Yeah, we're not going too deep into it because we have a dedicated Nintendo podcast. It's called New Podcast Plus. You can tune in tomorrow, Sunday. What's the time, Anthony? Do you know what time it starts?
5 p.m. 3 p.m. PST, I think.
3
Or
p.m.
5
Pacific Standard Time.
CST.
We're gonna talk totally more
I'm
about that.
Australian. How would I know your time zone?
Anyway, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We're gonna talk more about the Nintendo Direct then, or I'm not gonna be there. But Link's Awakening was just too exciting. We had to talk about it. I'm excited for it. I've played a good amount of Link's Awakening and never fully completed it though. It's definitely one of the better top-down Zelda games. Taylor, as the self-proclaimed, I would call you somewhat of a Zelda expert. You've all played all the games except for Zelda 2. Where does Link's Awakening rank on your pantheon of top-down specifically Zeldas?
Look out, you're in the champion seat.
I prefer Link to the Past over Link's Awakening, and that's all I'll say.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I
Okay.
think that's fair.
That's
I'm
all
pretty
I'll
sure that's like I'm pretty sure that's like a majority and what's the word?
Yeah.
Top-down. What do?
say. The majority believe.
Yeah, that.
Okay. All right, just go with that.
Consensus.
Yeah,
Consensus.
there you go.
Consensus.
There you go.
go.
We're all writers, by the
Anyway.
way.
Yeah, alright.
I gotta say, just from what we've barely seen of this game from the initial trailer, I really love the art style. Someone pointed out
looks
that
great.
it looks like those 1970s claymation Christmas movies, like
Yeah.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and stuff, because you got the black soulless eyes. They're all tiny and beady and stuff, and it looks
Okay.
really adorable. What they could have done, honestly, they could have just had the
They
same
could have made
engine.
their eyes red or something.
Yeah.
Not made them black.
So they're no
no,
longer
but-
soulless, they're just evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Exactly.
perfectly pure, perfect evil. No, but they could have just used the same engine that they used for Link Between Worlds and or Triforce Heroes, and use that to make the Link's Awakening game. I think it's
Yeah.
a similar
Okay.
engine anyway.
Okay.
But anyway, they totally could have just remade it in that, but instead they're making it this entirely different art style. I'm very much looking forward to it.
What?
Anthony, are you familiar at all with Link's Awakening?
Really quick, is this 3DS or Switch?
Switch.
Okay. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm keen for it, but I don't know what it's about or never played it.
Okay, gotcha.
So
No,
I'm
Link's
no,
straight
Awakening.
off the bat, right?
Ironically enough, not many people. I'm pretty sure not many people actually
No.
know the story to it, because if I remember correctly, it is the only game that takes, apart from Majora's Mask, where it actually takes place outside of Hyrule and it's all on one island. I'm
Yeah,
not gonna spoil
that's right.
anything. No, it's all on one island. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So, yeah,
Spoilers.
I didn't spoil anything
I know.
yet.
It's a 20-year-old game. It's being remade.
It's a wacky game. Link's Awakening is known for being incredibly wacky. Like, you'll run into characters that constantly break the fourth wall. I
yeah,
mean,
they do, don't they? I remember that. Yeah.
oh yeah.
I reckon, like, not that this is really on topic, but we're known to go off topic here and there.
I mean, what's the funnest thing on topical?
I would actually love to see Nintendo do like a Zelda trilogy of all older like Game Boy Advance and Game Boy Zeldas, kind of like Minish Cap and all that kind of stuff. Because I reckon they definitely need to be remade in this art style and be played by the newer generation on the Switch. 100%, like I'll be down any day.
Sure.
The only one I would argue is I would argue that Minish Cap still holds up really well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't, but
Okay.
it'd be great to see it on the Switch. You know,
Oh,
it'd be
yeah,
great
yeah.
to see all of them on the Switch, even if they're left the same way, just ported over. I'd play them. You know.
Even though Minish Cap is kind of weird, in my opinion.
That's
I
cool.
know that's I know that's a fan base.
I'm offended.
I am
Like
sorry.
Minish
even my best friend loves Minish Cap, but I just find it weird.
It
Like
is
I
weird.
know
A
like
little strange.
it's one of the revolutionary titles in the Legend of Zelda franchise, but it's
I wouldn't
just
call it revolutionary.
weird. I mean, yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure it was one of the ones which introduced a lot of new items that like was reintroduced in franchises.
The Minish Cap was one of them.
Body
I don't
is
know.
not the Minish Cap, but I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Fire Rod. Or was that from Oracle
That's
Season?
for Link.
This is one of those
F-
two.
Fire
But,
Rod was originally in Link to the Past.
Yeah.
Link to the. Oh, okay.
Link to the Past is, I think a Link to the Past is the revolutionary one that you're talking about. That's generally the one that people.
No, Minish Cap as well. I'm pretty sure was pretty revolutionary.
It's a
I
good
mean,
game. It's
Ethan,
definitely.
I
a
just
good
see
game.
the hatred
out of
boiling
all
over
the
on you
side-
over
out of all
Minish
the side,
Cap. What did that
out of
game
all
do
the
to
side
you?
villains, out of
What did
all
Minish
the
Cap
side villains. Sorry.
What did Minish Cap do to you, Ethan? I just see the hatred boiling over from here about it.
No, like I said, okay. I know it's a good game, and it's perfectly justified as a good game. I personally just find it weird. I'm not saying it's bad. I just find it weird. Like
Oh,
the
that's fine.
concept of it.
That's fine,
of,
yeah. I
you
mean,
know-
it's not every day you get like a talking hat that makes you like a tiny person, you know?
Yeah, I know. It's just really weird because it's like even with compared to the other Legend of Zelda games, right? Even the more light-hearted Legend of Zelda ones, like Spirit Tracks, Wind Waker, Four Swords is pretty light-hearted as well.
Mhm.
They're still ultimately dark in a sense where this is unfolding evil that you have to stop. When Vadi comes back as villains in the future franchise games, he is quite dark as you have to stop him and stuff like that. But then when you look at Minish Cap, it's very childlike and light-hearted, like throughout the whole entire thing. Even with the stakes of Zelda forever being stone and stuff like that, it's just too kiddie for me.
I don't agree. I really don't agree.
Really?
I think it's like not one of the darker Zelda games, but it's one of the darker Zelda games in a sense.
I always found it lighthearted. So.
Every Zelda game has a dark side to it, obviously, like Ocarina of Time and all that kind of stuff. But I found this one to be one of the not the more darker ones, but it had kind of a sinister feel to it and a more impending doom kind of thing to it. I guess that's how I felt anyway when I played it.
What's that one Studio Ghibli film that with like the tiny people in it or something?
Wait, what?
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, I'm out. Bye.
No, it's like the really tiny people. Joel, no? Okay.
Wait, Studio what?
I'm pretty sure it's a
Ghibli.
Studio Ghibli film.
Google it.
I just did, but I couldn't like recognize it based off the name.
Is it an animated movie?
Yes.
Is it Arietti?
Maybe? Let me.
Arietti is has.
I think that's it.
What's
Yeah.
it? Okay, hold on. Let me try it. Oh, the
It's
Secret
about
World
a
of
tiny
Arietti.
girl.
Yes, that
Yeah.
one. That's what Minish Cap reminds me of. It was that movie. Okay. That entire tangent was just so I can make that comparison. Okay.
I would expect nothing less.
Point is, Link's Awakening is really freaking weird, but the remake looks beautiful, and I'm very excited for it. So.
Okay, fair
yeah.
enough.
We got way off topic there, but yeah.
All right, so Ethan, let's talk about copyright law. Go.
Yes, let's do it. I'm the foremost authority on this. You can always trust everything I ever say about copyright and trademark.
This is the driest area of law, by the way, so just brace yourselves.
Yeah, no, but this particular part is actually pretty interesting.
Okay.
So, if you're familiar with, oh gosh, what's the name of his character from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Yeah, Carlton. Okay, that makes sense. Carlton from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, his real name is Alfonso Ribeiro. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, if you're not familiar, was this Will Smith sitcom back in like the 90s, I guess. It was kind of like the start of Will Smith's career. It was dumb. They've made like memes of it.
It was amazing. What are you talking about?
It was dumb.
It was amazing.
Anyway. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Really quick though. Did you guys get that in Australia?
What is it? I missed.
The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Did you guys get that?
Bel-Air.
Yes, we did.
Okay. All right. Anyway.
I was probably watching anime back then, so.
Weeb. All right,
for me,
Ethan,
no.
keep going.
Anthony, just take a moment and sit right there. I'm gonna tell you.
You have to be West. I'm pretty sure if you look at the definition of weeb, you have to be a Westerner. I'm Asian, alright?
No, okay, dude,
Joel,
there
just
can be
wanna point that
weebs
out.
for any culture, okay?
Everybody's
Like,
everything nowadays.
Joel,
No,
I am
like,
searching out the. sorry, Ethan. Continue.
No, I'm sorry,
don't
they're
know,
like-
but I'm searching
they're
out
like-
the definition, and I'm going to DM. I'm gonna DM Taylor right now. Sorry, you just continue.
no, don't DM me because I can't see it until after the show. But look, what I want to say is like there could be weebs for any culture, okay? Last semester I took a history of China class, and there were some kids of all races and whatnot that wanted. So it's like, you know how the stereotypical weeb is like that, like really like American dude in his mid to late 20s that is like obsessed with like Japan, wants to like move there and whatnot. There are people that exist like that, but in and for other cultures. Like, there are people that want to be, like, Chinese and whatnot, and freaking...
I stand corrected. You have to be Japanese, alright, for it to not count. Alright,
Yes.
that's fine.
Okay. Well, no, what I'm saying is, like, you can still be Japanese and be a weeb, but it'd be for a different culture. Does that make sense?
I believe that's called an otaku.
No. I think like, otaku is a derivative of weeb. But what I'm saying is like there are weebs that are like they exist for other cultures also. So for
We're still
example,
talking about it. Okay.
yes, we are still talking about it because I want to make this point, okay? And I want to make Joel understand that there are people who are weebs but for other cultures. You know, if that makes any sense. So it's like. instead of the normal definition of them wanting to be all like Japanese and whatnot, there are people who exist that want to be all like Chinese and whatnot. Okay. And I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen it with my own eyes.
I feel like I offended very harshly, Taylor. I am very sorry.
I'm just trying to break the stereotype.
You seem very dedicated to Pig.
I'm just trying to spread awareness of this whole thing, okay? I'm just trying to spread awareness so people know that there are multiple sets
if you
of
look
weed.
at this deeper, you yourself want to move to Japan for a bit.
I do not. I do not.
Hey, yo, you know who else wants to move to Japan? Alfonso Ribeiro, who just so happens to be one of the co-stars of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which was a sitcom from the 90s. So the thing about this guy, Alfonso Ribeiro.
Look, I've had like ideas, and Anthony, I've had like propositions and ideas where it's like, you know, it's like there's this job that I'm looking at. There's this job that I'm looking at that, you know, they might have a position that would require me to move to some foreign country.
Oh, Ethan, come back! No.
Oh dear.
I'm back.
Alright, well,
Okay, please continue.
alright,
You
sorry.
good to go? Okay, no problem. Carlton. Alfonso Ribeiro guy, he played a character called Carlton in the sitcom. I already forgot the name.
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which they had in
That's
Australia.
right. What really? Yes, which they had in Australia. We've clarified that. He played this character called Carlton, and the thing about Carlton, the only thing that he was known for, as far as I know, was his signature dance, which I will not replicate here, but I will post a link to it sometime during the
Rightfully named.
Oh no! Oh no, Ron!
It is rightfully named the Carlton as well.
Rightfully, yeah, that's
Okay.
correct. Yeah, it's a very exuberant dance, I guess you could say. And well, the thing about it was that many different games, 2K18 and Fortnite, were using this dance as taunts in their games for that they charged money for. Obviously, that's how Fortnite makes most of its revenue, is through skins and taunts. I don't know how NBA 2K18's microtransaction
Same thing.
scheme works. Yeah, same sort of thing. Regardless, they were using this, and Alfonso, it was brought to his attention, and he was under the understanding, I guess, that since the name of the dance was Carlton, and it was named after his character Carlton in the sitcom Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that
Which they had in Australia also.
Yes, which they had in
I'll tell
Australia.
you that one more time. You're all fired. Okay, bye.
Assuming Australia exists, of course, on a flat
Since
wall.
he,
Oh, good lord.
and
Ethan,
he
go
also-
on.
I will. It was named after him. It was named. He performed it on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He also performed it on Dancing with the Stars. He assumed that you could have a copyright to a human's basic movements, and so he sued Fortnite and NBA 2K18 for using the Carlton dance. So this
And
happened
how'd that
a
go
couple.
for
He
Say what?
tried to.
How'd that
sue.
go for him?
He tried to sue for them.
Yeah.
And it didn't go. The judge that the government, the judge that was in charge of his case, said you cannot sue for human movements. Duh.
I also believe that the members of the jury and the judge also played Fortnite during that time, so it's possible.
It's biased, right?
It was just like-
it was invalid.
Yeah, biased.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I
I
think
thought,
just to try and nudge this little nugget in there, I think Soldier Boy was trying to sue Fortnite as well because they used one of his things. I think.
Oh,
oh
no, this,
Oh,
I don't
that
think
is-
I don't think this was related
the
to
Soldier
Fortnite.
Boy.
Very ironic.
Yeah, it was in
and
Fortnite.
Yes.
Oh, was it?
I
Okay.
believe it is also
the Crank That?
considered hypocritical.
Is it Crank That? The Crank That?
I
Or the
think
Superman?
it was something.
It's probably
off
Crank That. Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
okay.
like something like Soldier Boy. The whole thing of Crank That Soldier Boy.
Yeah.
It sounds
He
like
has all the political. He has all the legal grounds to stand on right now. So I'm sure that for him. But regardless, I just found this very, very interesting that someone thought that they could sue Fortnite for human movement. So
Yeah, so you can't like trademark or copyright or patent human movement, or else some company would have one of those pertaining to walking. So then everybody would have to pay royalties to walk around somewhere.
which,
Hey, I
mean,
want to patent that tree over there. Let me do it.
That tree is nice. Okay.
Anyway, it's
Yeah.
it's a interesting case of what happened, and it kind of felt miserably. I think Taylor, you kind of brought it up before the show that they might have actually got him on the fact that he performed the Carlton on Dancing with the Stars.
I said that, but okay.
You said that. Okay. Yeah,
Sorry. It's very difficult to tell the difference between us weebs. Can't be helped.
Okay.
Ethan, what's the greater point here? What are you gonna ask him?
I was just gonna ask, was it because of the fact that he used it outside of Fresh Prince that he was able to, that the court was able to kind of prove against him that it wasn't in his own copyright, it kind of in the public domain, I guess? Or...
I mean, I know I'm not Joel, but no, that's not the difference.
I mean, it obviously did not help his case, but I still think that even if he didn't do it outside of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he still wouldn't be able. I don't think he'll still be able to claim copyright to it.
Well, they don't own the copyright to human movement either.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Joel,
I mean, if I pick up that dance and go out and do it in the street, they're not going to say, "Hey, stop doing that."
Actually, no. Okay. Hold on. Let me clarify a few things really quick. Joel, for starters, I know the definition of a weeb. Thank you very much. Okay. I'm trying to advocate for the expansion of the definition. Okay. The second thing that I'm going to make the point of is, all right, there is. Okay, this is kind of weird because I'm not sure of the exact legal stances and backing on and everything, but if you get into the world of professional choreography, there's at the very least sometimes NDAs to be signed by the backup dancers and everything, saying that they will as they are rehearsing and everything, and as they are practicing for the show that they wish to perform the dance in, that it is they're not to tell any other in the industry to do it or take it or what they're working on, what their dance will look like and everything.
Taylor, how do you know this?
Huh?
How do you know this stuff? Where do you get this information from?
Me? Honestly? My sister was into dance for a number of years, and so
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool.
She was telling me about this.
That's for, isn't that for secrecy? That's for privacy.
Yeah, that's for privacy sort of thing. And you can.
I mean,
if you were to make performers sign an NDA regarding it, then you would have legal stances. But once it's out in the public domain, and I mean the public domain stretches all the way between someone performing on stage to someone doing it down the sidewalk or something, then it's out and anyone can do it. Him doing it on TV, because TV is public mass communication media, then. It's out in the public domain. That's the thing.
Also in Australia. Yep.
So we are now given permission.
Yes, do the Carlton dance.
Oh, sorry. The way you said it is.
Anyway, it's a good case. It's a fun kind of video game related news piece. So I got a kick out of that.
Very lighthearted compared to what we started off with.
Yeah. They should make a union for video game Fortnite dances.
Please no.
They should just make a union for Fortnite, full stop.
Hey, you know what? We were talking about how Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is available in Australia, but I'm not in Australia. I'm in the United States, and in the United States, we do a thing at the beginning of every school day. It's called
Nobody cares.
It's called the National Anthem. Taylor, speaking of Anthem.
Oh, that was a good one. That was a great one, actually.
That is the worst segue I've ever seen.
What are you talking about? That's the best segue I've ever seen. Are you
awesome.
kidding me? That was amazing.
It was gonna be good. It was gonna be good until everyone pointed it out. Taylor,
oh my
you have some stuff to talk about Anthem, don't you?
Yes, I've been playing Anthem, and not the demo, but the full game right now. Whoa.
Yeah. What? It seems. Okay, I think we're judged based on that initial response. We're already looking positive here.
I have such mixed feelings about it, honestly.
One question.
Yeah, go.
Is it an EA game?
Of course it is.
Okay, go.
Okay, of course.
Continue then.
No more to
I mean,
okay.
Yeah, okay, it's all good.
Wait, what do you mean? You mean what? EA is a publisher, of
is
course.
it, as in, does it play Battlefront or something like that?
Oh, okay, I'll get to that. Okay. So Anthem, yeah, it's a little game you might have heard of, right?
No.
So I've only played maybe an hour or so of it, okay? And I have heard that the first 2 to 3 hours, maybe 4 hours, are really, really slow. But I will say, there's nothing incredibly exciting about it to grip me right now. The combat and movement is very, very fun. The combat and movement specifically feels like Mass Effect Andromeda on steroids, which, if that game had anything going for it, it was the combat and movement. Okay? Yeah. Graphically, the game looks insane, and it runs very, very well. I have no problem driving it at 4K Ultra 60 FPS. So, yeah, it runs very, very well for how good it looks and everything. My one tidbit with the appearance is the facial animations are obviously nowhere near the level that Andromeda's were of bad, but they're still just a little bit of wonky things that occasionally happen with the facial animations. That's just a Frostbite engine thing, though. Okay, not excusing it, but Frostbite is very hard to animate facial animation stuff. And so, yeah, that's my take on it. It's there's lots of.
Does it feel like a BioWare game?
I was about to get into that, actually. So BioWare, they load you with a ton of like jargon, universe-specific jargon, and everything in Anthem from the get-go, and it's kind of explained to you later. Sometimes you have to do external in-game rating based on like your journal library and everything, like entries for more explanations of it and everything. It basically, I noticed, we were talking about Mass Effect earlier. I noticed that BioWare tries to introduce the universe like they did in Mass Effect 1, but they have such a hard time recapturing how they did that and everything. That's actually kind of strange, in my opinion, that they're not able to recapture the explanation and everything. Because in Mass Effect 1, it kind of drops you into the universe, and it shows you, if they ever use specific jargon, it shows you quick enough like what it is and everything. But like this concept was introduced to me over like the radio or something, as if I should know what it is, and it wasn't until an hour later when I was actually given like a concrete thing on what it was, everything. So just it kind of leaves you in the dark for a bit, and then at the same time also there's nothing that makes you want to know more about it. Like, I haven't seen anything particularly compelling me to go out and explore and figure out more about the lore of the game so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. All right. Well, that sounds very, very promising. Yikes. I guess
I know
big yikes, I guess.
I don't know, it seems like as this game gets closer and closer to like the full official release and everything, that this is the game everybody wants to have fail. Which I don't think it's really fair, to be honest.
Wait, why?
Yeah.
It's because like screw EA, you know, they want Anthem to fail. Screw it, yeah. So yeah, have you guys heard anything like early impressions? Read any early impressions of it also?
None.
Okay.
No, I've read a couple of things. It's not looking good so far.
Okay.
I kind of talked about this a couple of weeks ago on a different podcast. It's kind of.
Are you cheating on us?
No, I mean on this podcast on a different episode.
Okay.
When the boss decides to go to another company's podcast, we know.
We know.
Forget 800 employees being fired. We're all going downhill, guys. Goodbye.
Yeah. Oh. It's very, from what I've read, it's very kind of samey, it's very repetitive, it's very kind of, it's open world, but it's just go here, shoot this, collect this, come back, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat.
Sounds like no Sea of Thieves.
It's like Andromeda.
No.
Nah, I mean, it's like, I'm just comparing it, I haven't played it, I'm just saying it's, like, from what I've read, it sounds like it's similar to that. I don't reckon it's going to go too well. It'll probably start out like a Sea of Thieves, of just do this one activity and they'll probably support it. But the issue that I have is it's at the crux of the matter, it's published by EA. They're the ones in charge of what they're going to do with like microtransactions and all that. At least with Sea of Thieves, it had Microsoft behind it, not the Microsoft's gone downhill a bit in the past couple of years, but they supported it. Look at Battlefield 5, it's dead. So, unfortunately, I don't really see this going too well.
Okay.
That's kind of sad, considering what a big BioWare fan you are.
BioWare was awesome. It was so good.
And that's kind of back to what I was talking about. It's like BioWare is capable And it's like they try to do this Anthem. You know, BioWare is very capable of just dropping you into a very fleshed out universe and developed universe and everything. See Mass Effect 1. And like explaining it to you so that you're interested and want to know more and you're eager to explore. Age. Yeah, Dragon Age also is a great example. Dragon Age, great series game. Even go back as far as like Knights of the Old Republic. Also.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then it's like they try and use a lot of the same techniques that were used in Mass Effect 1, but just for some reason they just can barely not make it work. Give you an idea.
Maybe because it's the old formula, like they're not evolving or learning from their previous works.
I don't know. Maybe it's just like they don't have the concepts battened down as well as they should for it to be able to work or not. But it's like there are a bunch of terms that are, I don't want to say interchangeable with each other, but virtually seem interchangeable with each other. In the sense of, oh, it's like this is the Anthem creation. This is like a creator relic sort of thing. The most I've gotten so far, it's like as far as the story, is that keep in mind I'm not even entirely clear what place I'm on, though. That's the thing. Like I don't know the name of the land or the planet I'm on, and I barely remember. I kind of remember the name of the town I'm in. It's like Fort Tardan or like Fort Tarson or something like that. But
it's Fort Tarson, yeah.
Yeah, Fort Tarson. But like I have no idea what the name of the planet I'm on is, if there's any like greater political factions at play, etc., etc. You know.
To be fair, it's kind of hard for me to remember all the places in Mass Effect.
Right, but at least it's like it's clearly told to you, like we're going to this planet though, at least, right?
The Citadel, you got Earth, you got Mars. You got, the Solarian planet, you got all these, the flotilla, you got all these different areas. That's drilled into.
You guys know that because you've played Mass Effect a number of times.
Well, okay,
obviously going into Anthem.
Here, let me clarify my point.
But that's the point, Ethan. They know that because they actually played the game. But what Taylor's saying, that even when he's playing the game, it's not giving it.
Right. It's not like
drilling it into you.
Yeah, it's not really like clearly defining it. Like, it's like whether or not you remember, remember not is kind of another thing, but it's more of like, so in Mass Effect 1, very opening, you're told, hey, we're around this planet, we're going to this planet specifically, right? They've mentioned, and like the names are kind of weird in Anthem to the point where it's like, I don't know if it's like, is that the name of a planet? Can that be the name of a planet? I don't even know. It's like, I'm not clear what land I'm in. And it's just like basic world building stuff like that. Is they try to make it seem so like depth and complicated and everything, but at the same time they lose kind of that surface level stuff that's needed to get someone's bearings in the game.
That's kind of how I felt about original Mass Effect, but yeah, I understand. I can definitely understand where you're.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of similarly like that as well with the original Mass Effect as well. Like worlds are kind of hard to remember and all that kind of stuff. It's not the best function of the Mass Effect formula kind of thing. They've done it well, but they haven't done it very well in a sense.
Right.
Whereas two, it's a lot more like you still don't know planets and all that, but you know who the factions are. It's drilled into you. You know who you're meeting. You know who's at war. You know what you need to do, kind of thing. I think with the whole EA games and all that kind of with like EA developers underneath EA. I think the issue is EA is taking, because it's the same original guys behind the original Mass Effect who are doing it.
Right, like, Casey Hudson, who is the primary writer for the Mass Effect series.
And Dragon Age.
Yeah, and Dragon Age. Was the primary writer for Anthem, also.
So, I really think the issue is EA's got their hands in it too much. Like, it's kind of the same with Activision as well, with Blizzard,
See, I'm not...
Activision's taking
like
more
Warner Brothers with DC.
Right.
Sorry.
No, that's reasonable. You see, I'm not sure, though, because I don't know how much of the developmental influence EA would have had on that sort of thing. And to also, it's like kind of raising the point, the prices aren't predatory. Let me just say that. It's like the prices seem somewhat reasonable in Anthem. I haven't been bothered by the in-game store yet or anything. I've barely taken a look at it. But from what I can tell, if you guys remember the controversy, I think this was like last week or something, or maybe the week before, where it's like there's the mock-up of the Anthem in-game store, and people were like, these prices are ridiculous. The prices are fine. Okay, that's not an issue. I am more concerned about how in Apex Legends, there's like certain legendary skins that are like 1,100 coins, but the minimum, it's like, so the price points are like $9.99 for bots of 1,000 coins, right? and everything. And then the next tier is $19.99 for a box of like 2,000 coins or whatever,
yeah.
right? There are some skins in Apex Legends that are 1,100 coins, so you have to spend $20 and not $10. But anyway, that's a total side note. But in Anthem, I haven't seen anything that's like egregiously priced yet. But then again, I haven't really looked at it. But everything seems fair. Everything. I will say also is that the game doesn't lock you down hard enough in the beginning, and the sense of I was learning to customize my like character and whatnot on my own before the game told me that I could or how I could.
It doesn't just chuck you straight into it.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Or
How many hours in are you, just out of curiosity?
About an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. So it's still pretty early impressions.
It's still very, and once again, I'm still holding to. I've heard that, or it's like BioWare have said that it takes like 3 or 4 hours to ramp up and get going. So I want to give it.
Okay.
I want to give it like a solid. Ask me next week, honestly. You know.
Yeah,
Ask me-
honestly,
yeah.
I'm really curious.
It's like,
I'm curious to hear what you think of it.
I'll follow this up next week before. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
But yeah, it's just. It. I see it going somewhere, but right now it's really not. And. Yeah.
Bear in mind, I just want to say this. With what I'm saying, I'm only going off with what I've read.
Yeah.
EA's done a great job with Apex Legends, same as Respawn has. I'm just going off what I've read. I haven't actually played the game either. This is for people who are listening or whatever. And just from different things I've read and seen as well. So it's just I haven't been hands-on with it either.
Just going back to the point that you stated before, you said that you need a couple of stuff to like get good, was it, or ramp up?
Yeah.
Couple of those, yeah.
It might be a bit harsh for me, but isn't that just bad then? Like bad decision making, bad storytelling? Because like, just don't get me wrong. Like it might be the most amazing thing after a couple of hours, but that's pretty much asking someone to wait a couple of hours to get the full enjoyment.
Right, and it's like I don't know, and any sort of like basic writing class, you learn to hook your audience in from the get-go,
from
right?
the start.
Yeah.
Like I hate referring to God of War for this, like because I always refer to God of War because so I wrote an article of like how my criteria is pretty much perfected with God of War and how it's such a great game and stuff like that. But God of War, right? Immediately from the start, it's slow moving, but immediately gets you from the start because the setting is unique. You feel the emotional baggage. You understand everything, not through dialogue, the actions that the characters take and what they're going through, just within the first 5 minutes.
Right.
Everything is laid out to you, and it's not even done by speaking to you. You just know it. And like that is a standard that should be for, well, any game, really, like in today's society, especially since games have been for such a long time now. Surely like people will understand what makes a good game, and having that come up within the first few hours, that's just so bad.
Right. Yeah. It's like it is. Yeah, it's like I don't think it's too harsh to say, you know, that's just horrible writing technique there. Saying it's like, look, you need to skip through like 30 chapters before things start getting good and everything. It's like
someone say, hey, look, read the series, it's really good.
The first book is crap, though. Yeah, the first book is crap, though. But Sam J. Soccer in the chat. Sam J. Soccer in the chat. Can I sing the national anthem? No, I have a horrible singing voice.
He said please twice. I don't know, man. I think we should take this.
You have to do it, Taylor. Come on, he sing please.
I don't know it, so whatever.
No.
You know what? We should totally do. What was it? A singing charity thing or something like that.
What do you mean? Australian national anthem?
When we reach, I know, 100, episode 100 for the podcast, we should do a singing thing.
Hey, I'm so good, I don't even know my own name.
All right.
Here's what we do.
I've got no idea what it is, to be honest.
Here's what we do. Me and Taylor, Anthony, you go learn your national anthem. Me and Taylor, we're gonna sing the American national anthem. Joel and Anthony, you're gonna sing the Australian national anthem. Both just gonna try and drown each other out, okay?
No.
On stream.
Sounds good.
Please no. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, there are definitely.
Whoever can sing it the loudest is the most patriotic.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me just boost the gain on my mic really quick.
Oh no.
Let me mute Taylor right now.
Let me dial that knob. Let me just dial that knob. Yeah. But yeah, and okay, I'm not going to lie. The opening level to Anthem is a copy paste of Mass Effect Andromeda's opening level structurally. Like, I'm not gonna make any bones about it. Okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, like, okay, so in the opening of Mass Effect Andromeda, you know, it's like your ship is hit and you're gone through a free fall sequence, okay?
Mm-hmm.
In the opening sequence of Anthem, your javelin is hit and you go through a free fall sequence until you land on the ground, and then it's like you find a weapon and you have to fight enemies. Yeah.
Is there anything different, at least?
People are dying. It's like people that you feel like you should care about are dying left and right, and yeah.
It's kind of like how in Mass Effect 1, all of the bases on each planet that you go to is a copy of the last one. So
hey, no one ever said the level
thing.
design was good on Mass Effect 1.
Level design in Mass Effect 1 is bad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that
Yeah,
right now.
admittedly
Particularly what is it? Section 51 or whatever it is, where you're up on the mountain with the arachni.
Oh god,
Oh,
that's
so
cancer. That's
Yeah,
cancer.
That is just so bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so no one ever said
And-
that was good. Not to invalidate your criticism or anything, but that's not something people hold Mass
I'm
Effect
sorry
1
I keep
for
on
being
bringing
good
up Mass
for.
Effect 1. It's just been something
No,
I've
it's
thought
fine.
about a lot recently, and I have a lot of criticism.
It's fine.
I mean, even a game that's not even in the same genre, Ace Combat 7. The story is great. Like, I'm loving this. I haven't finished it yet, mind you. It's been
How
like
have you
3 weeks.
not?
I know, I haven't
What
played
the
it.
hell? Okay.
Heresy.
Believe it or not everyone. Oh, never mind. I was about to insult both of you. Never mind. I'm not gonna finish what I'm gonna
Bring
say.
it on.
Get off my.
Do it.
I want my job. I want to keep my. I just want to keep my job, please. No.
All right. All right. What were you saying, Anthony? Go ahead.
Even like the whole thing with Ace Combat 7's story is I find it to be quite decent. I mean, you had some issues with it, with as far as it was. You didn't have issues with it, but you didn't think it was as good as 5, and then you got to the end and you thought it was better.
Yeah.
Whatever. I still reckon the story is a solid 8 to 9 out of 10, which is good. And that's the thing. A game with very basic mechanics, flying a plane for goodness sake, shouldn't need that good of a story
But
to
it does.
make it good. Yet Ace Combat 7 has one of the best stories ever. You know, you're in jail, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
if Ace Combat can do it, a blinking open world
Right, and that's the thing too.
50-hour game should
We're
be able
just
to do
like-
it.
It's like the same with Skyward Sword. The story's the only good thing about it, and
Right.
nothing else is good.
But so it's like with the Ace Combat series specifically, you know, that's a good point, Anthony. It's just like the games are fun enough on their own that I wouldn't need a story to like enjoy it or anything. You know, it'd be maybe a 7 or 8 out of 10 game for me and whatnot. But it's like it's the stories that carry it even that much so further. But with Anthem so far, it's like it really needs the blend of the story and the gameplay to carry it. One of those alone isn't enough. That's the thing. It's like
It's like
so
a
far.
cake, and the story is the flavor.
Yeah.
Mm.
I don't know.
I like that. Analogies.
A good,
I feel hungry now. God damn it.
a good example is this, like the whole like Ace Combat compared to other playing games, like IL2 Sturmovik, for instance, that had no story. It was just missions and that was it. Yet the whole gameplay of it was really good. I really enjoyed it, and at the time it reviewed quite well. I mean, for a game that's been in development for 4 years-ish or so, which Anthem has been, or it's been in development since 2012 or
When
something.
did Dread and Age Inquisition come out?
2013?
14.
Okay.
14.
Yeah, around the end
It's
of
been
it. Yeah.
developed. So 5 years nearly.
Yeah.
They should have perfected this. There's no excuse in my opinion. It's just not good enough.
That's reasonable. And it's like, yeah, just like, there's nothing to necessarily hook you from the beginning, though. That's the thing. It's like, as Joel said, you know, you look at God of War 2018. It, to me, is like, had one of the most memorable opening sequences. Not because, like, things were, like, balls to the wall or anything, you know. But it was just, like, literally from the main menu, it's like you hit start, and you select difficulty. And then you're in game, you know, it's like, it's literally, oh, this is Kratos. He picked up a log. Oh, you're...
And then he's carrying the log
Your wife's
back
dead.
home. That is
Yeah.
legitimately the beginning. Like, on paper, it sounds like the most boring thing ever. But the way it's
presented,
expressed
the way
and
it's presented,
presented
yeah.
is nearly perfect in terms
Ethan's
of
face. What's the problem, Ethan?
Yeah, what's the?
I gotta play God of War. I'm
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
gonna do it.
yeah, you definitely do.
All right.
Or at least watch Let's Plays for it. It is very good.
No,
I
don't do
just
Let's Plays, man.
I can't get my head around why. It's the same with Andromeda as well. Why people who have made Dragon Age and Mass Effect who have done so
Okay,
good.
to be fair, the entirety same people who made Andromeda did not make the other.
I
Mass
mean, the
Effect
same
games.
writer like Casey Hudson and whatnot.
Yeah, true.
So
Well,
the
Hey,
same
I mean-
development team is what
in the end, he does have limits to his control. Surely, I mean,
Right.
he won't be able to oversee everything.
No,
That's
and
that's-
also
Yeah.
specifically in Andromeda, also it's like Casey Hudson was there to save it for the last 9 months and repair it the best he could. But
Yeah.
that sucks. I mean, like, yeah, that stuff happens all the time. Like,
And
look
that's
at the DCU for crying out loud.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like nothing against Casey at all. Like he does a fantastic job. But what I'm trying to say is that somebody must be influencing what he's doing because it's not his fault. I mean, surely, hopefully, I don't know.
Right.
Just, yeah.
Hey, and I mean, at the end of the day, like, you know, they're all still humans. We're all
Right.
flawed. I
Yeah.
think it's important to take into account the fact that not everything,
Battlefront 2,
not-
Battlefield 5.
I think okay, honestly though, I think
not everything has to be perfect.
kind of piggyback off Ethan's point though, it's like it's one of those things where it's like games or like a multiple sequence of games, you know, they might have something unique about them that will only ever be captured, you know, maybe once every 10 years, once every 20 years, or maybe not ever even captured. Like it took Nintendo literally 20 years to beat to beat Ocarina of Time, arguably.
Yeah.
You know?
Arguably, yeah.
But in the meantime, the games that they turned out,
No, they
We're
weren't.
stepping through.
every game since then every game since Majora's Mask Ocarina of Time wasn't bad.
Right.
That's the issue.
Yeah,
That's what
and-
EA is doing.
Right.
And
Every
if-
game since.
And also, every single game after that, adding on to Anthony's point, like I also wrote an article that they literally learned from their mistakes and they just constantly evolved it until it became the standard of Breath of the Wild.
Right. Yeah. All right.
Good job, Nintendo.
Yeah, good job, Nintendo. So yeah, it's just like, yeah, the potential is definitely there, but whether or not it goes into it, I guess the way to sum it all up is that it suffers from its own depth. That's the thing.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
it drops you,
I gotcha.
it drops you very, very deep in all of a sudden.
It doesn't explain it enough, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it drops you very, very deep in, as opposed to, I don't know, I did keep hardening back to Mass Effect, but at least Mass Effect, it kind of wades you into getting deeper and deeper into things and whatnot. So,
As it should.
oh, also one
Sure.
thing that I have a problem with is you're only ever given two dialogue choices so far.
Oh, really?
Is it like very
weird.
aggressive and very passive?
It's friendly and unfriendly.
Oh man, that
So
sucks.
very aggressive and very passive.
Yes, yes. It's friendly and unfriendly. And friendly is the 1 button, unfriendly is the 2 button. Yeah.
What, Taylor, don't you know that having binary options is good for literally every aspect of life? Coke versus Pepsi, Republican versus Democrat, Apple versus Android, for crying out loud.
Culture and politics.
But to make it more interesting, there should always be the middle option and the troll option. So
No.
with Coke and Pepsi, there's always Fanta, and then I don't know, soda pop or some shit like that.
Hey, no,
No, you're
for
either
Coke
one
and
side
Pepsi,
or
there's
the
always
other.
Royal Cola. RC
Yeah.
Cola.
Yes. Let's pretend that doesn't exist. You are either on the side that is 100% right every single 100% time, or you're on Satan. That's the
Yeah.
only way that you can possibly do it.
And then,
that's
okay.
and that's how Anthem works. I'm assuming.
Yeah, pretty much, right? But no, okay, so it's like, and then once again in Mass Effect also, you're given clearly the friendly option on top, clearly the unfriendly option on the bottom, and then the side option is neutral. Okay, and then sometimes you're given the extra Paragon and extra Renegade stuff.
Yeah, you need the troll one.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for people to click for,
Yeah, exactly.
funny moments.
I've experimented around with the number 2 dialogue choice, and they're not even trolls and funny. They're just straight up, oh, this guy is kind of an asshat, sort of thing. So, anyway, stay tuned for my thoughts
Anyway.
on Anthem next week when I play more of it.
Will do. Looking forward to it.
Oh, heck. Andromeda is currently cheaper than the Mass Effect trilogy.
So, by the way, Taylor, tell me if the story actually is really good within the first couple of hours. Because if it's actually that good and they just completely ruin the beginning, I would be so upset and so, and I'll find it so funny at the same time. So, yeah.
But
I don't know, my
I mean,
laptop
as
is
you
asleep.
said, right? It's like it's writing 101. Grab your readers from the get-go, right? Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
Exactly.
All right. So, well, this thing's gone on long enough, and we don't have a discussion question loaded up. So, Anthony, what games are releasing this next week? We've made it through the hell that has been February 15th release window. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, correct.
Turns out most of the games weren't that great.
I've heard good things about Metro Exodus. Like,
Yeah, that
from
was
a
about
game perspective, but on like a PC technical perspective, there's been this massive controversy over the implementation of DLSS.
Yeah, Metro
and ray
Exodus was about-
tracing, but
Right.
Yeah.
Metro Exodus was about the only positive thing that came out of this week, including. Anthony, you're supposed to list the games now. What came out this week?
Okay, so quick question I do have. Is Far Cry New Dawn already out?
Yeah,
Okay.
they hit
I
the
haven't seen
15th
anything on
release
that.
window also, I think.
It's been extremely quiet on that front. We actually, breaking news, actually very breaking news site-wise, we've actually gotten in contact with some Ubisoft guys, and we are going to be receiving codes from Ubisoft from now on. And we've already received a Far Cry New Dawn code. We're going to be getting Assassin's Creed stuff as well.
Ooh.
And
I will gladly review Mario plus Rabbids 2 whenever that's eventually made someday.
No.
I'll beat you to it. Okay, so nothing's really coming out until February the 19th. So to begin with, we have Devotion, which is going to PC on February the 19th. The Window Box is going to PC, whatever the heck that is, also on February the 19th. Unexplored Unlocked Edition is going to PS4 and Xbox One on February the 19th and the 22nd. I believe it's Xbox One, which is the 22nd release window. Yakuza Kiwami, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Kiwami?
Yeah.
It's going to PC on February the 19th. Dick Wild 2 is going to Rift.
What?
And yes, they are, yeah.
Nothing. No.
Apparently.
Moving on.
February the 19th. Pode is going to PS4 on February the 19th as well. Battle Royale official launch is going to PC on February the 19th. I think we've got enough Battle Royale games as it is for now. The Shapeshifting Detective is going to iOS on February the 20th.
Mhm.
Bannerman is going to PC on February the 21st. Batali is going to PC on February the 21st as well. Cube 2, QUBE, for that one, not CUBE, is going to Switch on February the 21st. Anthem, obviously, is going to PC, PS4, and Xbox One on February the 22nd. Origami Shadow Edition is going to Switch on February the 22nd as well. And the Prometheus Secret Nora, I think it is Nura, is going to PC on February the 22nd as well. And that's it for this week. Not a lot this week.
Can I just say that I really
There you have
appreciate games releasing on like Thursdays and Fridays now instead of Tuesdays?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I
Oh,
agree.
Nintendo has been releasing their games on Fridays since like forever.
I know,
That's-
but
that's-
I know, but
it's the best. It's
Right.
the best.
yeah. Anyway, but yeah, okay. So as aforementioned, a lot of games came out on the 15th and everything. I've seen New Dawn average, Far Cry New Dawn average like a 6 and 7s across the board. Metro's been scoring 8 and 9 because PC technical issues aside, it's apparently a decent game. Jump Force was all hype and not a lot of things past hype.
Aw, that's
Yeah.
upsetting.
Yeah, it is
And then
disappointing.
Crackdown 3.
Is-
Crackdown 3, as far as I could tell, people are saying it's the pinnacle of mediocrity.
Yeah,
That was not worth it.
I heard that Yukimoto is extremely broken, and you should just play him.
Okay. But, okay, back to
So, yeah.
Crackdown 3, though. I've heard it's not worth the 9-year wait. And, I mean, have the Crackdown games ever really been, like,
No.
incredibly good?
No.
Okay.
But if it is on Game Pass, it's worth picking up if you have Game Pass.
Okay.
It's not bad, but it's not the best.
So as long as it doesn't
Or
really
if you
cost
like Old
anything.
Spice. Yeah, basically.
If you like a
Or if you
Tom
like
Cruise
old
simulator, Terry Crews, not Tom Cruise. Terry Crews, wrong Cruise. Terry Crews simulator. You can buy that.
All right.
If you want Tom Cruise simulator, go see Mission Impossible Fallout.
I've heard that was really good.
Good
Actually.
movie. Yeah, it is.
Me too. I did.
Hideo Kojima agrees. Also.
That's because he directed it. Little known fact. That man's he's been busy.
I'm sure. Yeah. Okay. All right. So I think that'll about wrap up the most chaotic episode we've had in a while. But you know what? That was fun. So thanks to my guests for being here. Make sure you guys tune in to New Podcast Plus next week. Or I'm sorry, tomorrow, not next week. What am I talking about? Tune in to episode 60 of the Power Up Podcast next week, which will be at the same good time, same good place. And let's see, Matt, who you might know as a frequent guest on the podcast here, and myself have started a tech YouTube channel as an affiliate of Culture of Gaming. It's called Tech for Thought, so go check us out. We just had our first video drop a couple days ago, and it performed a little bit past our expectations so far, when it's literally just him standing in front of a camera talking. So anyway, we have 2 other videos in the works right now, and then we have to get one of them out at least this next week. So yeah, go check that out if you can.
Way to go.
A like and subscribe will help a lot. So, once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and thank you to my guests for being here, and we will see you guys next time.